Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice-a-week long-form podcast, because I want to put the right information out there from people who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, so you can apply that information to your business and utilize it and see a meaningful difference in your life out there. It's one of the many, many reasons why I would proudly fly this American flag behind me every single day. A, we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you live yours as well. Solo show today. Some pretty big news out there, some big headlines that have happened. And yeah, I got a guest coming on tomorrow. We're going to, he's my boy. We're just going to shoot the shit on some pretty pertinent topics that he knows a lot more of than I do. And then Friday is Q&A day. I've already had a couple of people DM me some questions, but if you have any sales or operations related questions for the transportation industry, DM them over to me and I will answer them live on Friday's show. But before we go any further, you guys, as always, I'm going to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers. And the best part, you get paid to move these trailers. That's right. That's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading these trailers out. So you guys can go on VHub, grab a trailer from a location out there. And we're going to talk about some of those. You grab it, bring it to your customer's facility, get loaded up. You get paid on the move of the trailer, and you get paid on the freight that you load up in that trailer. So what they're working on, you guys, is they got a bunch of trailers out there in San Diego, California, going to multiple locations across the U.S., you guys. And it ranges anywhere from $1,100 to $2,200 per trailer, you guys. They got some roll-up doors heading out to New Hampshire. They got some standard 53-foot swing doors going to Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, and Texas, you guys. And again, you don't have to just pick them up in San Diego and bring them to a shipper in San Diego. You can bring them up to LA. Hell, you can bring them over to Phoenix, Vegas, wherever you want. They just got to end up in the destination cities that are out there. And this is also a way for you to create a drop trailer pool at some of those large enterprise level shippers that you're working with. And then they also have 136 trailers out in Paragould, Arkansas, needing to get up to Mississauga, Ontario, you guys, and it pays $736 US per trailer. And again, you can bring them down to Memphis, over to Nashville, maybe up to St. Louis. They just got to end up there in Mississauga. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. My friends Zach Lonergan and Stacy Steen, they will be in the audience. Just do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Comments are blowing up. Sonny Sharma in the house. What's up, brother? Orange shirt gang, let's get it. Danny, what is up? Good morning, sir. Nick Sanders, good morning. And it is a new day for success. Martavius Bean, what's up, my man? Thanks for tuning in. Julia Olaskoga, One Call Logistics. There she is, one of the greatest marketers out there, getting that name. I wanted a quick shout out. I appreciate you. And thank you very much, Julia. It's messages like this, you guys, on why I literally continue to do what I do literally day in and day out. Is to me, creating content is just about helping one person, right? Like I don't care about the vanity metrics at all. I did early on when I was doing a lot of this, but I don't. As long as I get messages like this from Julia and others, is what it's all about to me. As long as it helps one person, that's it. That's what it's all about. Cole, what is up? Let's go, my dude. Fired up and ready to go. Let me see here. Lucas Kirby, good morning. One great directing content. Check out our YouTube interview. Cool. All right. Yeah. Check out Lucas's stuff on YouTube. Catherine Whitehouse, good morning. Great morning in sunny Connecticut. Bob Haas Roddy, it's hump day. Let's go. Tracy St. Clair, good morning, watching on YouTube. Papa Bear in a chair watching on YouTube. Let's go. Trey Lincoln on YouTube as well. Good morning. And Zena, good morning. Whew. I like it. Comments are blowing up. Diego Fonseca, good morning, Freight Team, he says, you guys. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff breaking over night. And man, in yesterday, stuff going on. And the thing that always cracks me up about social media is there's just so many subject matter experts that are out there from everything from, if you look at the broader scope, the geopolitical, climate, the macroeconomic climate, everyone's a fucking expert right now on everything. And it's, and it's nauseating and it's only, and that was one of those things that I enjoyed about LinkedIn is that stuff didn't really get onto LinkedIn. And I'm starting to see more and more of that. And I'm all about people putting their opinion out there. I'm a free speech fan. I'm a big fan of free speech. But it's also one of those situations that sometimes, and I try my best. I mean, I have thoroughly admit when all this stuff started coming out about yellow, my opinion has changed since more and more information has come out. And I definitely, again, you got to learn from a lot of these scenarios. And for us, it is, it's just about talking about the truth time and time again and putting information out there because you know what? You got to learn from a lot of this stuff. And, real lives are affected. It's always the frontline worker that comes to top of mind. You're looking at yellow. Yellow is seemingly going to be actually filing for bankruptcy here, probably, by the end of this week. There's a lot of people who are going to be out of jobs. Again, I put my opinion out there yesterday. I think a large carrier like a Knight Swift is going to buy them for pennies on the dollar. Just an assumption. Again, I want to be very clear. I have no inside information. It's just a gut instinct. And that's my dark horse candidate for somebody to come in and buy out that company. But, you see an article that came out there, obviously Surge Transportation, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy yesterday. I know not like on a super personal level, but their guy Omar, is the founder over there, founder and CEO, Omar Singh. He was a very nice guy to me early on when I started creating content. Very nice guy. He gave me some time. He gave me some pointers. And, frankly, I'm very appreciative of the time, that he spent with me. And, it's sad to see a lot of people out there throwing shade in everybody's way. And frankly, they're sitting on the fucking sidelines, right? They don't own a company. They're just putting their opinion out there. And, my man, Gabe Pinkinen put a really great post out there this morning and very, very well articulated post on this. And it, to me, it's one of those situations where it's like, until you're fucking on the field, really, it's a very different environment when you're bootstrapping and building your company up than when you're getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, no matter what. Again, I'm not saying that everything was perfect, but at the end of the day, there's real people who are affected by this shit, you guys. Very real people that are without jobs and everything else in a very tough economic climate, might I add, on top of that. So just be very, very aware of that and the people who are posting that information out there, because people are affected by this and people are going to clout chase, right? People are going to see, oh, this is a big name. Let me trash them or let me do something else to try and gain some clout off of what somebody else is happening. And that shit just sucks. I fucking hate seeing that stuff. But I also think this is a very good point because I want to, bring up this article that FreightWaves put out that they are filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I want people to understand the definition between Chapter 11 and Chapter 7. Chapter 11 is bankruptcy protection. It's a way for you to restructure your debt to make repayment more achievable. Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which is a lot more common, so I see why people can make a mistake in thinking that this is what it means, is that many debts are forgiven and a variety of personal assets are sold and liquidated to repay as many debts as possible out there with that. So again, because I saw some, posts out there on social media that Surge was still moving freight and everything else, and carriers are like not knowing if they're going to get paid or if they should accept it and everything. It's just knowing the difference. I mean, there's clearly a concerted effort to get this rightened, and that's what Chapter 11C is. Chapter 11 bankruptcy is protection. It's to restructure your debts to get in a way to get out of it. Chapter 7 is essentially shit's done. They're going to fucking start liquidating everything down to your the fucking hat on my head as a business owner. That's essentially, you're going to fucking sell everything to repay all your debts. So it's, again, it sucks. It sucks to see. I don't like seeing any business go under. I don't like to see anybody lose their jobs at all. And then, frankly, it's it's one of the hardest lessons that I learned in business. And this is not a comparison to either of the situations at Yellow or Surge at all. But one of the hardest lessons I personally have learned so far as an entrepreneur is that how reckless I was at spending money when the market was high, right? And again, this is my personal thing. This has nothing to do with anything going on in any other companies out there right now, but it's a hard lesson learned. Fortunately, I learned it, and now I'm looking at things very differently. I look at because again, it's like, like I say this often, you guys, there's no playbook to entrepreneurship, right? And there's no like, hey, follow these 10 steps and you're going to be successful. When you're making money and you're making revenue, and you kind of want to think that it's always going to be that way, right? And especially when you went 12 months or 16 months in business like I did, where I didn't make a dollar, right? So the first 16 months I was in business for myself, you guys, I didn't make one fucking penny. I broke even. I started breaking even in month 12. I worked a part-time job to make sure that I could keep my lights on and food on my family's plate for the first 9 months. And then between months 9 and 12, it took me to get to a break-even point. And then between months 12 and month 16, by month 16, I made $1. It was my first dollar, essentially. And, so again, it took a lot of time. And then from month 16 to month probably, I would say, to the end of 2022, I was doing pretty good, right? But I was also not overly reckless financially, but there's a lot of shit that comes up with this, right? So it's like, from a business structure standpoint, my CPA, who I work with, switched me from paying out an annual tax bill, is where now I'm paying quarterly. So like at the beginning of this year, when taxes were due in April, I had to pay out all of 2022 taxes, and then I prepaid for Q1 of 2023 tax. So that was a big fucking financial commitment. And then last year also, I signed up for a bunch of shit that I didn't need, right? Because I needed it in the moment. And it was an irrational business decision that I made. And then, that shit adds up, right? And especially because, again, I'm not a large business. I'm a small business. And, so again, it's kind of deciphering what is real and what you need and what's not. So again, when the markets flip like it did, it's reassessing your business. Because, like, to kind of tie in another lesson here is, it's not switching from an employee to a business owner mindset is a very big hurdle. And I have that now, right? I am very, very cognitive of where my revenue is applied every single month and what I actually need to run an efficient organization, right? And again, there's benefits to all of this stuff. So, all right, let's go and get into some. That's my little spiel. Zach Lonergan says, the playbook for me is always fail, 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 tiny win, fail. Finally, learn the lesson and get a new starting point and do it all over again. It's very true, man. Just don't quit, right? No matter what, just don't fucking quit. That's my big thing. First article we're going to break down, though, you guys, is from fleetowner.com. Again, all the articles that I break down on this show, you guys, I will upload into the YouTube channel, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay of this, which is uploaded on iTunes and Spotify almost immediately after the live show. Fleetowner.com, trucking group calls for support of the FET repeal bill. Again, the bipartisan legislation would immediately reduce the cost of new, cleaner, and safer trucks by 12%, making it easier for fleets to upgrade their equipment. Emphasizing the immediate benefits of the latest emissions and commercial vehicle safety technologies, the American Trucking Associations and another 8 trucking organizations and affiliates renewed the effort to repeal the outdated and counterproductive federal excise tax, or FET, on heavy-duty trucks and trailers. The coalition sent a letter to the leaders of the Senate Finance Committee and House Ways and Means Committee to express support for the Modern Clean and Safe Trucks Act. The bipartisan legislation would repeal FET FET and immediately reduce the cost of new, clean, and safer trucks by 12%. Eliminating this tax will remove a barrier to retiring older trucks that lack modern emissions control and safety technologies, allowing owners to replace them with modern, clean models and are safe and more environmentally friendly. Stakeholders across the trucking supply chain stand ready to work with leaders in Congress to advance this important proposal. Nearly half of the trucks in America's fleets were manufactured before 2010. Each new clean diesel truck will reduce emissions by 83% compared to the pre-2010 models, where it replaces on our highways, the letter explains. The coalition adds that today's vehicles also equipped with the latest safety innovations proven to save lives. The new truck models meet 2015 standards for stability control and include driver assistance that improve braking, steering, warning, and monitor responses. In addition, the letter was co-signed by the American Truck Dealers, TCA, National Tank Truck Carriers, NATSO, Sigma, Diesel Technology Forum, Truck and Engine Manufacturing Association, and Clean Freight Coalition. And the NTEA, the Association for Work Truck Industry, and likewise long advocate of the repeal. In March, their senior vice president told a fleet owner at World Truck Week that the current legislation provides the best opportunity we've seen for doing away with this tax, and continues to be 100% in support of the bill of full repeal, and are always happy to see more organizational standing behind the repeal. Again, you could look at this from two ways. I look at it like this. If a 2010 or older truck passes current emission standards, because again, I get it. I've lived out west for a long time. I just literally had to get my truck smogged the other week. And it's fucking annoying. I get it though. And, again, you could make any arguments to go into what and why they do this. But if it's a pre-2010 model and it passes emission standards, I don't understand why it can't be on the road, right? I also think that, again, yes, some of the newer vehicles out there have greater safety standards and stuff like that. Obviously, as vehicles improve, automatic braking and other things come into effect, and you can make definitely make things safer out there for the operator of it. But again, it's just like, as long as this doesn't lead to anything forcing a trucking company to get rid of their trucks to buy newer ones, and especially if their older fleet is maintained, it passes standards, it passes whatever is required, why can't it stay on the road, right? Again, I think that looking at it of anything that helps them reduce the costs of new and cleaner and new and safer trucks for the little guy to be able to afford to stay competitive out there, I'm all for. Because again, I want to see the little guy win no matter what goes on out there, because you know what? I come from a family of the little guys, right? A bunch of owner operators running my family. And I'm somebody who's trying to figure shit out too. So that's just, that article, fleetowner.com, and it is Trucking Group calls for the support of FET repeal bill again. Let me see here. Cole M says the hard work pays off in the end. All the pain, all the struggle. Sonny Sommer says all the pain, all the struggle, all the frustration, all the anger, and all the bullshit you put yourself through. A lot of it is an investment in better times that are coming. Yeah, dude, that was a great one. You guys need to subscribe to Andy Frisella's newsletter. Go to andyfrisella.com. I'm not associated with him. I'm in the RTA syndicate. I thoroughly support him and all of his content. He's fucking great. I've learned a ton from him. I follow him every single day. And I would definitely, he puts out some of the best content out there. Yeah, Zach, best second to build a palace. That's funny. Sonny, that's almost as funny as the fucking TikTok video you sent me last night about how rising temperatures out there are stopping or inhibiting the performance of EVs. That was kind of a funny one, man. Yeah, we're not going to get into that. I had enough talk about that yesterday. Another breaking news yesterday that happened. UPS and the Teamsters reached a tentative contract. Again, I don't want to say that a guy in an orange shirt and a backwards hat on a specific morning show mentioned that they would come to an agreement last minute and avoid the strike. I don't want to say that I said that. Or this guy. Sorry, it might not have been me. But there are videos of a certain morning show host who called this out a couple weeks back. So, but it's good to see that people are still that they came to an agreement. This article is from FreightWaves, and the 5-year deal creates 7,500 full-time union jobs and raises full and part-time wages. After breaking off talks for nearly 3 weeks, UPS and the Teamsters needed just 3 hours Tuesday to agree to a 5-year contract that, if ratified by the union's rank and file, would prevent a potentially crippling nationwide strike. Under the agreement, 7,500 full-time Teamsters jobs will be created and 22,500 open positions will be filled, according to the team's will be completed with the Teamsters union statement. Existing full and part-time workers will get $2.75 more an hour in 2023 and $7.50 more per hour over the length of the contract, according to the statement. Existing part-timers will be raised up to $21 an hour immediately. New part-timers would start at $21 an hour and advance to $23 an hour. The current national average floor has been for part-timers is $16 an hour. Wage increases for full-timers will average $49 an hour for the top end of the scale. General wage increases for part-time workers will double the amount obtained in the previous contract, and existing part-time workers will receive 48% average total wage increases over the next 5 years. The Teamsters part-timers will have priority to perform all seasonal support work using their personal vehicles with locked-in 8-hour guarantee, according to the statement. In separate statements, the Teamsters call the agreement historic, saying UPS has put $30 billion, it's a fuckload of money, of new money on the table. And the UPS CEO, Carol B. Tomei, I hope I pronounced her last name right, called the contract a win-win agreement. General Secretary, Treasurer Fred Zuckerman said he's never seen a national contract level the playing field as one is his 4 decades out there. UPS CEO called the contract a win-win. And let me see, the contract will be submitted to 340,000 rank and file method members on Monday for ratification, and voting is expected to conclude August 22nd. It's great to see that they came to an agreement. It's great to see that there isn't going to be a strike because, again, at the end of the day, we need to know that people are out there not going to be out of jobs, right? Especially in today's climates, right? Because, again, like I was talking about yesterday, with inflation being what it is, and everybody damn near living paycheck to paycheck in a good economy, let alone right now, any work stoppage at all would be absolutely catastrophic to a lot of people out there, right? So it's good to see that they came up with this. My personal opinion on the union is not coming into effect here. I'm just glad to see that the workers are not going to have a work stoppage at all, and they're going to continue to get paid, right? Because that's what's most important, is that those people are going to get paid, and those frontline workers who are out there every single day busting their ass to deliver those packages. Even though the package I received yesterday from a certain courier service looked like it was fucking punted and thrown against my front door, but that's irrelevant to this article. I'm just saying. Let me see here. Back to the article here. For a contract to take effect, the master agreement agreed to on Tuesday, as well as more than 40 local and regional supplemental agreements, must be ratified straight up and down majority votes. The early betting is the rank and file will ratify the master contract because the negotiating committee, which approved the deal unanimously, would not have done so unless it was sure it was to be ratified. At the same time, it's doubtful UPS would have made a deal had it thought it would impede its ability to achieve profitable growth in the 4.5% annualized labor cost inflation out there. And Gordon Glazer, who manages the postal practice for consultancy Shipware LLC, called the contract a big win for labor. However, it will make it harder for UPS to compete, and they won't be able to do it simply by raising rates. UPS will need to get clever and shrewd. Once the dust settles, the big question for shippers is that the company's annual general rate increases, what it will look like in 2024. Tommy Storch, I fucking like that last name, Storch, a transportation procurement expert at Insight Sourcing, expects at least 8% increase in their general rate increases when fuel surcharges and accessorial fees levies out there. It's going to be interesting, right? And again, like this is something to take into consideration. This article, you guys, freightwaves.com, UPS and Teamsters reached tentative contract. Again, very happy to see that a contract was met and those people out there are still working. But it's going to be interesting to see how it all kind of shakes out and what this is going to do to their prices. Because fuel did go up yesterday, right? It went up 10 cents. And that's a big factor in there for when you are pricing out your freight, is where is the fuel surcharge and everything else coming into play, and how are you going to price based on that, right? Because even if the fuel surcharge is a pass-through expense, you still have to fill up your trucks first. But again, so it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of plays into effect, and how are they going to get crafty with this, and how are they going to make this a feasible investment, right? Is it going to come in cost cutting in other ways, shape, or form? And again, there's a lot of very smart people at UPS. You are not that large by accident. And it's going to be interesting to see kind of how this all shapes out. But again, you guys, there's an opportunity in the open market no matter what. And that's why I'm a fan of the open market. That's why I'm a fan of the free market. That's why I'm a capitalist, because I believe in merit-based compensation. And you know what? There's an opportunity out there for you when you're looking at all of this uncertainty. And yes, there's a 5-year agreement that comes into play, but your operator, I like to use, again, I don't know anybody. Well, I know a couple of people over at Old Dominion, but I'm just looking at their financials. Old Dominion looks phenomenal across the board. Their operating ratio is very profitable. I enjoy thoroughly learning about Old Dominion and kind of how they operate a lot here. And I think that this is a major opportunity for a company like Old Dominion to keep growing in these times, right? So it's going to be interesting to see where things kind of progress here coming up. And again, I'm glad that this was avoided. And I think that, we can kind of get back into your groove, right? Because again, there's going to be more rebids coming. Shout out to green screens, you guys. Like, seriously, I was able to quote like an 80-lane RFP in like fucking 15 seconds. It's ridiculous. And we use them every single day. So again, as rebids happen, and then especially you guys, pricing for 2024 is going to be coming up around the corner. What is your pricing strategy going into 2024, right? You need to partner with the right pricing tools. You guys, you really do. Hit up green screens. I use them every single day, multiple times a day, to earn my customers' freight, right? Hit them up, you guys. Get prepared. Have them in your back pocket, because 2024 is going to shape up to be a very interesting year. I've already put my opinion out there in nauseum, I'm sure, to some of you on when I think the freight market's going to change and how things are going to go. And they have the most accurate, up-to-date rates out there. You guys, hit them up. If you want me to put you in contact with them, DM me green screens and I will put you in direct contact with them. Or if you want to check them out, greenscreens.ai/the freight coach, if you want to show your boy some support and from that. But again, you guys, I just want you guys all to win, right? Like, that's the entire purpose of this show. And all of my content is I want everyone to fucking win. All right. I love winning. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people succeed, because I'm trying to do all that myself too. Right. Like, I am just some fucking kid out here who's trying to build up the largest transportation company in North American history, which I'm not trying. I'm going to do that. But I'm just out here chasing my dreams, and I want to help you guys chase your dreams too. And, and just know that all the information that I put out there, you guys, is just coming from my 15 years career experience in the industry. That's all this is coming from. And I just want to see you guys be able to apply a lot of this shit in avoid some of the pitfalls that I found myself in early on in my career. But yeah, you guys, I got a guest on tomorrow, and it's going to be a good conversation. And we're going to break down some of the current overall topics. Friday is Q&A day. All right. So if you have any questions that you want answered, if you have any Qs and you want your boy to drop the A's on the show, DM them over to me, you guys. Or if you just want to save them for the live stream, I'll answer them live on the show on Friday. Let me see here. Ryan Muhammad. What it do, Ryan Muhammad? Good to see you, man. Catherine Whitehouse, cheers for us little guys. That's right. Yes, Sonny. It was hilarious. And then Zach, yeah, I know. I got to stop buying coffee in the shape of fucking footballs. You're right. But that's it for today, you guys. As always, if you guys got value in what you heard here today, subscribe and share the show, you guys, on YouTube. Rank the show on iTunes and Spotify. If you think I gave 5-star information, hit that 5-star review out there on iTunes, you guys. That just helps us grow. That's how we are the top show in transportation, is because of each and every one of you and you guys sharing that stuff out there. Because if you see value, your network's going to see value in this as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.